so excited to see you guys. Come on in and sit down. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Yeah. Get your jams on and grab your favorite pillow. It's story time. Oh, I'm so excited to see you guys. How was your day? Did you guys have good days? That's good. I had a good day too. And guess what? I am so excited for our new place. Remember, next week we are moving to a brand new page. Pineapples and butterflies. So be sure to tell your mom and dads to like the new page and to message me if they have any questions, because we're going to be on our new page next week. It's all about us. I'm so excited. Yes. So I have a story for you today. Now, I really like reading stories, but I didn't always like to read. When I was younger, I didn't even know how to read. Can you believe that? And then I had some great teachers and my mom and my dad, and they taught me how to read. And then I began to love it. So this story that I'm reading tonight is about a little girl who didn't quite love to read, but eventually I think she grew to love it. But let's just read the story and see what happens, okay guys? You ready? Come on in. Let's get comfy. Do you have your pillows or your blankie? All right, let's get ready to go. This book is titled Once Upon a Time. The story and pictures are by Nikki Daly. Ooh, this book is kind of old. It's one of my favorites. Some of the pages are even torn because I loved it so much. By 8 o'clock, the little Karoo was starting to bake, sending the scent of wild herbs into the dry air. The dirt road to Hopefield, straight as a ruler, stretched forever. Sarai knew the road well. She walked along it every day to school and back again. The long walk did not bother her. She was a dreamer, and her legs were strong. It was school that bothered her. When Mr. Adonis said, "Children, take out your reading books," a sick feeling would grip Sarai, making her hands tremble and her voice disappear. Sarai hated reading aloud in class. Those words, so many of them, running together, row after row, page after page, they tripped up on her tongue. She stuttered and stammered over them. When it was her turn to read, all the children behind her giggled. "Take your time, Sarai," Mr. Adonis said kindly. "Take your time, Sarai," teased Charmaine and Carmen after school. "Take your time," joined in the smaller children. Only Emil stood back and said nothing. He knew that Charmaine and Carmen were jealous of Sarai because she was as pretty as a princess. At home, Sarai was called the late lamb because she had been born long after her older brothers. Her family all worked long, hard hours on the sheep farm, except on Sundays, when they rested. After lunch, her father took a nap, while her mother sat in the shade of the blue gum tree doing her big loopy knitting. But after a few rows, she too would fall asleep. Then Sarai would run across the veld to the ridge. That was where Auntie Anna lived, and there she would be sitting in her rusted-up old car waiting for Sarai. Then Sarai would climb into the driver's seat and pretend to be taking a Sunday drive somewhere far, far away. As they drove, Auntie Anna would tell stories of once upon a time when she was young and her car was shiny. Then Sarai would tell Auntie Anna everything, how she hated reading aloud, how the words stuck in her throat like dry bread, and how the children laughed at her. "People can be cruel," said Auntie Anna, "but don't give up, Sarai. It's so good to be able to read well and enjoy books." One Sunday, tired of driving, Sarai climbed in the back seat. Dreamily, she ran her hands over the brittle leather into the darkness between the seat and the backrest. Then she felt it, something under the seat. She pulled, and out came a dusty old book. Sarai jumped into the front seat with the book. The cover creaked as she opened it. "My goodness, Sarai," said Auntie Anna. "Look, it says, 'To Lizzie with love from Mama and Papa.' This book belonged to my daughter." "Read it to me," pleaded Sarai. The old woman shook her head. "No, Sarai." Sarai looked puzzled. Then Auntie Anna's mouth crinkled into a smile. "We will read it together." Once upon a time, the wife of a rich man fell ill. It was a lovely story about a beautiful girl and her two ugly stepsisters. Reading with Auntie Anna was fun. In some parts, Sarai read alone. Then just before a word could trip her up, Auntie Anna would join in until the story ended. So Cinderella married her prince and lived happily ever after. As the sun dipped behind the ridge, Auntie Anna closed the book. Sarai felt too happy to speak. "It's your book now," said Auntie Anna, patting Sarai's hand. "Next Sunday, we will read it again." The next day, Sarai couldn't wait to get to school. She wanted to show Mr. Adonis her beautiful book. "Ah, Cinderella," said Mr. Adonis. "Read it to us, sir," cried the children. As Mr. Adonis read, Sarai remembered all of it. She could even see some of the words. Then Mr. Adonis asked the children to take out their reading books. Excitedly, Sarai opened her reading book, but when it was her turn to read aloud, the words tangled around her tongue and she started to stammer. "Take your time, Sarai," said Mr. Adonis. Emil looked at Sarai. Her eyes filled with tears as she struggled to get the words out. Charmaine and Carmen giggled behind her. When Sarai saw Auntie Anna, she told her all about it. "Emil is the only one who doesn't laugh," said Sarai. "Well, he sounds like a prince," said Auntie Anna. Then she clapped her hands and said, "And guess who you can be?" She dashed into her house and came out carrying an old evening dress. It smelled musty, but it sparkled as it fell over Sarai's shoulders. "My princess," declared Auntie Anna with a low bow. On the Sundays that followed, Sarai read her favorite book for Auntie Anna. The more she read, the less afraid she felt about reading in class. And the less afraid she felt, the better she read. One day, Miss November, the school principal, visited the classroom to hear the children read. One by one, they read aloud. Soon it was Sarai's turn. She opened up her reading book, and suddenly the old sick feeling came back. What if she made a mistake and lost her place? What if she found her place but lost her voice? Mr. Adonis waited patiently. The class started to fidget. Sarai thought about all the words she had read with Auntie Anna. She could see them. Lots of friendly letters holding hands to form words that danced and sang together. She could feel Auntie Anna beside her. Bravely, she took a deep breath and started to read. The words poured out as clear as spring water. "You read beautifully," said Miss November. Out of the corner of her eye, Sarai could see Emil smiling. After school, Sarai and Emil walked home together. "Would you like to go for a drive in my car?" asked Sarai. Emil laughed. "Where's your car?" "I'll show you," said Sarai, taking his hand. When Auntie Anna saw them coming over the hill, she waved. "Come on, let's get going," she shouted. Sarai jumped into the driver's seat. Auntie Anna took the back seat so that Emil could sit in the front. "So you're Emil," said Auntie Anna. "Yes, ma'am," said Emil shyly. "I'm Sarai's friend." "That's good," said Auntie Anna. "Don't you think she reads beautifully?" "Yes, ma'am," said Emil. "I bet you didn't know that she could drive, huh?" "No, ma'am," Emil said as he giggled. "Where are we heading to, Sarai?" asked Auntie Anna, settling back. "Far, far away," said Sarai. Before them, the flat expanse of the Little Karoo stretched as far as the eye could see. Ridges shimmered on the hazy horizon like faraway castles, and as Sarai took the wheel, the air stood still and it seemed almost once upon a time. The end. Wasn't that amazing? She knew how to read. All she needed was a little encouragement and lots of practice. Sometimes that's all we need is practice and someone to say, "Hey, you're doing a good job." So I just want to tell you guys are really doing a great job. I know it's kind of hard being stuck at home all the time, but you guys are great. And I look forward to reading to you in the evening times. It is the highlight of my day. I just love it so much. Thank you for joining. And remember to look for our new page next week. Does anybody know the name of the new page? What's the name? I'll give you the first word. Pineapples and... right, butterflies. Yay, you got it. I'll see you guys next week on the new page, Pineapples and Butterflies. But for tonight, we must say goodbye. Good night, you guys. Have sweet dreams. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. We have 3 new friends watching with us. Can we all give a big hand clap and a welcome and a hi to our 3 new friends? We have Xander and Zayden and Layla. Hi, Xander. Hi, Zayden. Hi, Layla. Thank you for joining us, friends. Did all the friends say hi to our 3 new friends? Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, you guys. You are the best. Well, good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Xander. And good night, Zayden. Good night, Layla. Good night, Ariana. And good night, Justin. Good night, Zanai. Good night, Amari. Good night, Emma. Good night, Aiden and Kennedy. Good night, Israel and Morgan. Good night, Hunter. Good night, Navia. Good night, Nico. Good night, Justina. Good night, Malia. Good night, Harley and Danny. Good night, Harper. Good night, Analia. Good night, Brandon. Good night, Daniel. Good night, Xavier. Good night, Jason. Good night, Lauren. Oh, good night, Demetrius. Good night, Harrison and Mackay. Good night, Judah. Good night, Erilyn. Good night, Stevie. Good night, Raven. Good night, Prince. Oh, good night, Gianni. Good night, Isaac. Good night, Maya. Good night, Brooklyn. Have sweet dreams, guys. I'll see you next week at Pineapples and Butterflies. Bye, guys. Good night.